Welcome to our second day in our second annual Congress, EgyptAir Hospital. Now I will present Dr. Karim Al-Arabi, Head of Department of IDD, International Patient Department, and the Consultant of Orthopedics.
صباح الخير. So this is a lecture, just a talk to mention the IPD and its initiation. So EgyptAir Hospital has been seeing international patients for quite a while since it began. And as Dr. Claudia and our colleagues mentioned yesterday, there is a big difference when we have an IPD department in a hospital to see an international patient versus just seeing an international patient without having specialized people to talk to them, to handle them, to help them, and many other things. So briefly, our vision, which have been shared yesterday, and mission. I won't take long because there are many workshops that comes. We'd like to be in time to learn more from them. In the IPD, which started in May last year, 3rd of May, two people are working in this department at the moment. We don't have the capacity to add more people, but it's the plan. Myself, as head of the department, elected by Dr. Ayman Salah, our CEO, and Hiba Abu Saud, who is our case manager, and she is the pillar of the IPD. To start our IPD, the department needed to learn a lot of things and to contract a lot of people. So we needed to start contracting with companies to send us patients, with companies to help us with the touristic part, and also with many other suppliers and vendors. Also aftercare or the post-care, so when the patient is done and he would like to follow up or go to a rehabilitation center or any specialized center, we needed to start contracting those. It's taking a while, but we've done a few contracts and we're willing and happy to sign more contracts in the near future. During our last year, we've helped the IPD Health through its vision, mission, and through its management and the training department to give courses to the people in EgyptAir Hospital, so that we would create a culture for the patient that talks about medical tourism, that has the same language of medical tourism. So we've added hospitality sessions, we've added etiquette session, we've added cultural sensitivity talks and sessions, and that created actually a lot of difference. Also, we've added language to our colleagues, especially in nursing and the front desk, admission desk, like English, German, and French. Of course, it's not a 1 day or 1 month thing. It's an ongoing thing, but it's a very good start from my perspective. And we've also added a sign language. So we have around 12 people that can do sign language. And actually, it was the first time for me to learn that sign language can be in Arabic and in English. There are different words. In the last year, we've attended 3 conferences for medical tourism in Tunis, in Tunisia, in England, and in Egypt. The last one was the presidential medical tourism under the presidential sponsorship. We've seen 17 elected patients that contacted the IPD and came directly to the IPD of EgyptAir Hospital, because we've seen much more through the transient patients who came ill. And Dr. Ayman and the last session that talked about digital transformation and the new project, they talked about how aircrafts would land by force for someone who's ill, We've been seeing many of those, and I think this project will help us to stop aircrafts from stopping their air flight, so that they would continue the flight itself without stopping, through EgyptAir staff and through the continuity of EgyptAir care, even on board. We've done orthopedic surgeries. We've done many medical checkups, especially that the government has done now a transient visa, where patients or people can just get into Egypt for a couple of days. They come and do checkups, and we are. I hope we're quite elite in saying that we report these patients quite quickly. We give them reports, we give them the checkups, we give them the labs, and then we follow up with them afterwards. This is a small video for an IPD. I hope you like it.
في ريكوست جالنا يا هبة، الحالة عايزة تغيير مفصل.
تمام يا دكتور، هرتب مع دكتور العظام يراجع تقرير الحالة ونشوف المواعيد.
احنا كده ورقنا جاهز، عايزين نعمل لها جواب السفارة عشان الفيزا تطلع للبيشنت.
This is Hiba Abu Saud, by the way. That's me, of course, the boldy one. It's quite obvious, isn't it?
مع السلامة.
She was a real patient. So our pillar, Hiba Abu Saud, is the one who made that video. So thank you. Our scope of services is quite usual and normal, and everyone who works in medical tourism know it. There are 3 stages: pre-travel, during and arrival time, and within the hospital, and then the departure. The challenges that we had faced doing the requests at the beginning is quite a lot, because it's not easy to get a request from a patient, sometimes without a medical report, and you try to process that, and you try to contact all the specialized doctors to get a request ready with a lot of information to the patient, so that they feel, first of all, well informed about their situation, what they can do, and how much it will cost, and how long it will take them to stay. But happily, we've reached quite a good place where, when a request comes, I will have different specialities sitting at the same table, talking at the same patient. It's like a consulto, if I may say. Since the patient has agreed and decided to travel with us, we facilitate air flight tickets, we facilitate accommodation, we facilitate transportation, and that's quite easy when we have a sister company like Karnak, of course, but also sometimes the patient requests their own transportation and accommodation, which we happily accommodate as well. On site, we have 2 people helping the patient since they arrive until they're discharged, replying to each question and all questions, updating them about their accounting and their cost and how much it's going. And hopefully, in most cases, nothing is unpredicted. So most of the cost is well predicted. And then we, of course, coordinate and facilitate their travel back. And then we follow up our basics on 3 months and 6 months duration. Afterwards, they start receiving emails for marketing from us, so different other specialties or checkups they can come and do. And our KPIs, it's going well. The numbers are still few to get strong KPIs. However, it's looking well so far. So it's a very good start. These are a few of our patients. And as Madam Laila said yesterday, we became closer to them, sometimes as friends. So we receive messages, we receive emojis and all that stuff. And this
صباح
is a
الخير.
patient. And this is a patient review.
صباح الخير. أنا سلام من لبنان. التجأت للسياحة العلاجية المصرية بإدارة الدكتور كريم العربي وبإشراف الآنسة هبة أبو السعود. وبتشكرهم كتير على العلاج والخدمة الصحية. وأنا هلأ صرت بأحسن حال، أحسن من الأول بكتير. ميرسي كتير وشكرا. صباح.
So this last review was sent to us from one of our contracted facilitators, Egypt in Touch. I hope we've built up quite a good trust. They're sending us more patients now. Thank you for that. And thank you for the little presentation and your time to listen to us. If anyone have any question, I'd love to answer.
Thank you, Dr. Karim, for the informative presentation about your international patient departments. And I just would like to know, from your experience within the IPD, what was the challenges that you had faced with certain international patients? Thank you.
Thank you for your question. It's a very valid question, of course, because it's actually it's the most important question because we faced many challenges. To be honest, with every patient there is a different challenge, starting with nationality, sometimes religion, sometimes changing mind about traveling or not, sometimes about decision making when it comes to surgery or not. So there are many challenges. This question is just the biggest topic of them all. We try to help them and accommodate them as much as we can with giving them and educating them with too much information as much as possible so that they can reach a decision, flying to Egypt to get treatment or doing the surgery or not. Sometimes we get them a second opinion, even sometimes from outside of the hospital, so that they are well informed about their situation and they receive a second opinion so that they can decide. And if they at any point decide not to do the surgery in our hospital and they would like to do it somewhere else, we're more than happy to facilitate, accommodate, and even do the communication to do that. We have no issue. Our principle is their health, regardless where, regardless who. We are interested and we are in the business of making patients better, not just taking money out of them. Any further questions, please?
شكرا على المحاضرة الجميلة.
شرفتينا دكتور.
الله يخليك دكتور. طبعا أنا عارفة إن أنت الديبارتمنت بتاعتك اتعملت very fast، وأنت الحقيقة عملت جروب هاي علشان توصل للي أنت وصلت له دلوقتي. بس أنت as a pioneer in IPD in Egypt، إيه الchallenges اللي كانت managerial or strategic واجهتك أول ما بديت، وإزاي أنت تغلبت عليها عشان ندي اكزامبل للمستشفيات التانية لما تيجي تعمل IPD جوه المستشفى؟ إيه الحاجات اللي ممكن تعملها يعني تستفيد من الاكسبيرينس بتاعتك؟
الحقيقة شكرا لسؤالك، هو سؤال مهم جدا. الاي بي دي انشاؤه في مستشفى بالذات لو ليها تاريخ زي مصر الطيران طبعا ما كانش سهل كبدايه، بس اقوى نقطه فيه لما يبقى مجلس الاداره عندك كسبورت قوي وعنيف وعنده الفيجن بتاعه ايه هي السياحه العلاجيه واهميتها، فبناء عليها ايه اهميه الاي بي دي. عشان نتغلب على المشكله دي جوه المستشفى عندنا كبدايه، بدأنا نلف أنا وأور بيلر هبة أبو السعود جوه المستشفى ونعمل انترنال ماركتنج. فإحنا كنا بنلف جوه المستشفى نعرف الأقسام إيه هي الأي بي دي، بتعمل إيه، تخصصاتها إيه، بنشتغل لحالات إيه. وبعد كده جزء كبير جدا من الأي بي دي اللي تطرقت ليه مدام ليلى امبارح وهو مهم جدا وأحب أفوكس عليه، ان ازاي لازم يبقى عندك بادجيتنج للاي بي دي، ازاي يبقى عندك اتش ار شغال عشان يجيب ناس مظبوطه للاي بي دي. فهو برضو مهم جدا ان احنا نعمل انترنال ماركتنج ونوظف الناس الصح. انا هبه جات لي بفضل من ربنا يعني اولا، وبعدين لما لفينا على الاقسام عشان نوصل للحته بتاعه البادجيتنج كمان كنا بنتكلم معاهم في ازاي يسعروا الاسعار بتاعتهم عشان تبقى بشكل تنافسي مع المنطقه اللي حوالينا كلنا، لان احنا حوالينا تركيا، حوالينا الاردن، حوالينا الامارات، فحوالينا بلاد كتير جدا بتتنافس على السياحه العلاجيه وقويه جدا في السياحه العلاجيه. فعشان ننشئ سوق كنا لازم نعمل ماركت ستادي عنيف عشان نبقى في نفس الاسعار بس اقل شويه. وفي نفس الوقت ده تطلب منا ان احنا نلف على كل الاقسام نعلمهم يعني ايه اي بي دي يعني ايه سياحه علاجيه. فقدرنا نوصل مع الاستاف بتاع المستشفى ده اولا، وثانيا عندنا السبورت بتاع الاداره اللي كان الحقيقه قوي جدا. يعني الدكتور ايمن كشخص تحديدا ومجلس الاداره كجمعاء يعني هم اللي ساعدونا ان احنا نطلع المؤتمرات ونروح المؤتمرات، فكانت حاجه كويسه قوي. فاول حاجه احب انصح بيها اي حد ان البيروقراطيه في الورق شيء لابد منه وهيحصل. البرسيستنس لازم يكون موجود لو انت عايز تعمل تغيير وتعمل فرق. مش هيحصل اي حاجه لما تروح للشخص مره واثنين وثلاثه، بس لازم تبقى بريزنتبل زي ما انت هتقابل العيان تقابل الناس دي بالظبط، فتستوعب الناس وتقدم نفسك مره واثنين وثلاثه وتفضل على النقطه بتاعتك لحد ما تعملها. وبعدين لما يجي الشغل نفسه دي كنا بنفتكر ان هي اسهل حاجه ان عيان يجي وان ده الشغل الصعب، بس هو الحقيقه العكس. اتضح ان وصول عيان وان هو يحط ثقته فينا وصحته بين ايدينا دي كانت اصعب حاجه وما زالت اصعب حاجه، واعتقد انها هتفضل اصعب حاجه لانها مسؤوليه كبيره قوي مش سهل ان احنا نتقبلها. شكرا.
Dr. Karim, thank you very much for the presentation. At the beginning, I would like to introduce myself to you all. I'm Noura Abdelazim. I'm the Business Development Manager of Thika Retina and Eye Surgeries in Cairo. I would like also to take this opportunity to thank Dr. Asad Riyad for inviting me to this event. I'm very eager to learn, to know, because we're exploring to take our center to a higher level in the medical tourism. We already received some patients, mainly from the Arab world. So I would like to ask Dr. Karim, because this is a very important topic that we're facing lately. We received many patients from Libya, so they started to mention that they're facing an issue with the visa. So I would like to ask you if the visa, or the 2-day visa, is applicable to all nationalities or not? Is it?
It's not applicable to all nationalities.
Okay.
This is to the best of my knowledge.
Okay.
However, yesterday Dr. Samih Amir talked about the visa that should be a little bit more facilitated in the next 2 weeks. But coming to the security clearance أو اللي هو التصاريح الأمنية, there is a big problem with that. However, to certain countries only. It's limited to few countries actually. We have a sister company, Karnak company, that facilitates these clearances, and they facilitate it as much as possible, as fast as possible.
So it works with other non-governmental entities? We can contact them to facilitate the
Yes, of
visa
course.
issuance?
Our sister country, Karnak, of course, they would be happy to contact you as well and help you as well and facilitate for you.
Thank you so
We
much.
are here to help our patients.
Thank you so much.
Their health is our itinerary. So definitely we can make this contact.
Okay.
I'd be happy to talk with you afterwards.
Sure.
Give you contacts for Karnak and do the same.
Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Thank you very much for your questions. We will move to our planned schedule. The next workshop is on. So Mrs. Laila will present the next workshop along with Dr. Asad. And it's about branding. Hopefully we learn a lot from it.
Good morning, everybody. It's great to be with you today too. And it was a very interesting day yesterday. So I think the watch started clicking. So I have to start. All right, so today we are going to speak about branding. Now, we've heard a lot about medical tourism. We need to be in the market and we need to be the top notch in this very competitive market. What do we need to do? It's very much indeed important. The branding and what do we have to do? Now, we've heard a lot about branding, but do we exactly know? I mean, what does it mean? Anybody here from the marketing? Perfect. She will be competing with me, and then you correct me if I am mistaken. All right? I'm speaking out of my experience. Being in the government, Dubai Health Authority, I had the honor to be on the top of the team when we have chosen the logo of the new Dubai Health Authority. It was before Department of Health and Medical Services for the government of Dubai, and then we've changed it into Dubai Health Authority when His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid decided to form an authority that regulates and strategize the healthcare sector in the Emirates of Dubai. So we went through a lot of experience and I've learned a lot, even though I'm coming from the planning and the strategy parts, not from the marketing parts. So let's go to the branding. Okay, now basically we need to focus into those three, into those three words. So brand is a perception. Is that what do you pursue from the brand that you want to implement? What does it mean for you? What do you understand from it? So it is the perception of the person, of the product, or of the service that is gonna market. So this is something you need to focus in. And then it is the symbol of self-expression that we use to gain the acceptance. And it's the value. It's your value of your business. This is very much important because it gives you the trust on what you are gonna sell to the person. Now, of course, the word of selling in healthcare is a little bit, people think of it as, it's not ethical because we don't sell in healthcare. But here we are talking about the brand, which is your hospital. The system is that what you want your people to understand and to come for you for. So this is basically is the brand. Perception of what the people pursue about what you are giving them, and it's the self-expression of the service you are providing for the people, okay, and it's the value that you appreciate and your customer is going to appreciate and they are going to come to you for it. All right, so what makes the brand so important? How it will become important, your brand? It will be noticed, it will be differentiated, and it will be selling as a recognition to your brand. So your brand, you will evaluate it and you will get to know that it is important because it's going to sell a lot. So the number of selling that you are going to do for the brand you are going to establish is going to tell you if your brand is successful or not. And the services that you are going to give to the people. Now, if you remember, yesterday we spoke in my presentation about different countries and the different brand that they established. And I'm going to highlight here more country in my presentation. And how do they measure that they have been successful? Number of customers that are coming to them, number that they are being recognized around the world, people speaks about them. So this is how they start getting to sell their brands, getting recognized in the other part of the world. Sorry, I have to go back to my note because I would like to contribute more to my workshop because we don't have a flip chart right on. Okay, now, what's the brand needs? It will need a reputation, it's a culture to grow in, and a product and service that we are gonna sell, sorry. So these three items, each brand require it. You have to develop the product that you are gonna sell the services you are going to sell, you need to have the culture for it. And then you need to have that product and the service and develop the reputation accordingly for your brand. So this is what the brand needs to grow. It has to be innovated. So it has to be different than the others. You cannot be the same. This is very much important because this is how you distinguish your hospital, your brand from another brand. And then it has to be customer service. Your customer has to speak about it. It has to be customer oriented. Dr. Karim mentioned something very much indeed important, is that we need to look at our customer needs. We need to let them feel that they are part of us, not we are part of them. Because here where you gain their trust, and this is very much indeed important. And then operational excellence. You have to be different in whatever you do. So that's in a simple word. Now, let's look at Mayo Clinic, for example. Mayo Clinic, they had a very simple word that differentiates them from others. And what they choose, patient first. This is our brand. Patient is first. If we look at Apple, they say, think different. Does any one of you in their hospital now has anything similar than this? A message on their brand that they can share with us? Yes, please. Can we have a mic, please?
I will talk here about our message in the medical tourism because it's different from Egypt. Because in Egypt we're not perceived as an affordable service, but for the medical tourism we claim that we provide a premium medical service at affordable prices compared to other countries.
Okay. So this is the message you are sending for your customer.
And accordingly, all efforts are consolidated in this direction.
Okay, now any one of you thinks this is a good message or it is a bad message? تفضلي دكتورة.
It is not ideal. It is a little bit long, must be very short, very precise, and very attractive. So they have the concept and they have the idea for doing the best, but it's not a must. I can give you example of one message, safety first. This is now the message of Gahar all over Egypt, and it is the message of accreditation of Gahar and Timo. Safety first. Thank you. Yeah. And if I may also add, and yes, I see Martin as well. It's a wonderful message. It sounds more like a vision statement, or as opposed to a call to action, to succinctly in a couple of words say why they should be looking at me. What, if you can take that vision statement, get it down to 2 words that are easy to remember, because
it's a brand message, right? Yeah. Yes, yes, absolutely. Yeah. Yes, yes. So, you see, please, yeah, Dr. Karim? Yeah?
Your health is our itinerary. This is EgyptAir Hospital message.
Fantastic. See, the aim is here. We are not here to criticize each other, whatever message we have in. We are here, yeah, of course, we are here all to learn from each other. I might be even mistaken. So we are here to learn and to benefit from each other experience into building our brand. As the brand message has to be so short and rememberable by your patients, because this is what you want your patient to speak out. This is what you want your patient when they go back home to say one word about that hospital that keeps them remember that hospital and the services that they get in. So this is very much indeed important. That is why we are seeing here the different hospital, different company, business companies that they've used the message accordingly with their brand. Okay, from what we have talked just now, what do you think the benefit you can get from the brand? Yeah?
When they see that brand, that people will immediately remember you, and when they see your brand over and over again, it imprints on their mind, even if it's subconsciously, so that when they think, oh, I need this service, your name comes to their mind as opposed to somebody else's.
Excellent. Anybody else would like to add? I know we are a small group, but we need to engage with each other. So please, just tell me speak from the business perspective. Maybe Dr. Asad can speak from the business perspective. Dr. Asad? Ah, okay, sorry, yeah.
Okay, thank you. Hello, this is Lamia. Let me introduce myself. I'm a partnership executive at Kenna, hospitality brand and service apartment for medical tourism, business and leisure. And for asking the question about the branding, I guess if the more people will get emotionally connected with the brand, feel safe. If we are talking about the medical tourism, people should feel that they are home. Our brand message is home away from home. So maybe when you feel the experience, you feel it's like your home, even if it's a hospital or a real home. I guess this is how people got engaged. You will always have a loyalty client, and this is the target to increase your reputation, the word of mouth, and all the things that you have done. And of course, it's my pleasure to join you here, and thank you for your invitation, Dr. Karim and Dr. Asad.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dr. Asad.
Thank you, Mrs. Laila, for the explanation of the brand itself. I always feel it like as you mentioned now, like you mentioned, that is a promise. When I am as a patient, would like to know about this hospital, as you mentioned right now, this is the first thing comes to my mind when I am thinking of your differentiation. We have a lot of hospitals, we have a lot of clinics. What you, let us say, make you different? This is the brand, and it is not only the slogan, it is not only the colors, but it comes to a lot of experience that you have to find it here.
Thank you. Okay, now whatever all of you have said is 100% correct. So now let's see what I have put as a list of the important things that the brand give us. It increases the trust, and this is very much indeed important. And yesterday, Gahar, Vice President, has spoke about that point, and also Dr. Maida has also spoke about it. So it's very much indeed important. Increase the value of your services and the price advantage. You will get surprised, and I'm sure you get to know. You will see people approach a highly expensive healthcare provider than a less cost because only of the value of that brand and the service being given. So sometimes patient doesn't choose a facility just because it is cheap or it is a low cost. No, it's not. And we have here a very good person with a huge experience being an international patient. Okay, a higher customer loyalty, it will increase it because when they feel the trust and the belief in that organization, they will be loyal to it 100%, right? Higher company valuation, and here where the business comes. And that's why it's very much important. It will increase the value of that company if the company decided to be listed as an IPO. So this is very much indeed important in the business perspective. Increase employee retention and attraction. The employee, Dr. Karim mentioned very important things. They've been engaging the employee all the time through for their IPD establishment. So when you engage your employee in your branding establishment, because it's very much important, they believe in it. When I went through the same experience, Dr. Karim, in Dubai Health Authority, when we were establishing the reform, we used to go to the employees, we have to do a presentation, we have to engage them, continuous process. You have to buy in. They are your ambassador for your brand. And then increase the ability to successfully expand because you are growing. You have a big loyalty of your customers. You are getting recognized globally, so you have to grow globally. So this is major important benefits of the brand, beside, of course, what you have already mentioned. So let's look at the different hospitals and what's happening around the world. These are some of the examples of the brands. Now, these are some of the brand stories. You know, of course, Mayo Clinic, right? Everybody knows Mayo Clinic and when they are established. And just see when they had focus on their brand, just look at the numbers of an increase that has happened during that times. They had a 10% increase. That's around 6.9 billion US dollar, only for 6% of an increase and 3% profit margin. So this is just from their branding, establishing their brand, focusing on their customer service, building the trust, and providing a good service to their patient, build up the loyalty, has contributed to their revenue. So the return on investment is a huge from that, even though we consider it, what does that logo mean? But that's contribute to the revenue of that particular institutes. And the most important things, you see that they have a lot of patients' contribution and buying into their facility. So this is one. Now, let's look at MD Anderson. One of the things that attracts your attention is this mark. Why they have cross on the cancer? Yes, because they want to eliminate cancer. They want to have cancer as a history for their patient. So you see this one, how much, if somebody is with a cancer and they see this, it attracts them right away. What do they mean? It means that they are doing a huge job, you know, and then they start dig into the information. So you see small things, but it builds up a huge things for their customer. And this is a lot of the return on investment that they had. They had increase in the number of new patients that comes to them. They had also an increase on the admission, ambulatory care, and so forth. And they had focused on only segment of adult patients, not the children, the pediatric. So now, if we are to build up a brand for a hospital, okay? Yeah, because I want to ask you for the next slide. If you are to build up a brand for your hospital, what you are going to focus on? A hospital is different than any business, right? Yes, Dr. Karim.
Well, first of all, the message I want to send, the unique point I have inside the hospital that I can start with to build the trust with patients and many others, but those are the two things that can contribute for me.
Anything else you can think about? Yep. Good. Yes. Excellent. Yep. Good. All right. So let's look. This is a hospital, and we know a hospital is a different case. So besides what you had mentioned, we need to focus at the hospital itself. So we look at the services that we provide and the employees. 100% what you had mentioned is correct. But from looking at the different case study and the different hospital experience and the branding, the services and the employees is very much indeed important. The appearance. You know, just tell you one small example about Singapore. It has nothing to do with the hospital. Singapore, from the research I've read through, they pay the taxi driver for the Singapore government a very high wages. You know why? Because it's the first contact the tourist is going to have when they enter to Singapore. How many of us, we had a so bad experience when we take a cab in a country we travel, right? Dr. Karim is laughing too. Yeah, so you see, so the first contact your patient is going to have is very much indeed important. I cannot say patient is first, and when I enter the hospital, the employee doesn't treat me so well. Or I say I have an excellent service and facility, and when the patient enters the hospital, they cannot even know where to go. We don't have a proper signage. I went, from my own experience, I went to a hospital, Renote, in South Korea, without mentioning a name. I was on an official mission, and I went there to visit, and they say, why we don't give you a complimentary checkup? I said, okay, let me take it. So I took the complimentary checkup. And I am wearing hijab, right? So I went to do the mammogram. So they gave me the gown, and I need to cross from a room to the radiology room for the mammogram machine. And it was a short sleeve, and it was a short gown. And I'm wearing hijab, so I told her I cannot just walk like that. She said, but ma'am, we don't have anything. I said, you see, that's one of the mistakes of being a Renote center internationally, and you did not consider for Muslim patients that you are catering for. They appreciated it so well. But you see, a small thing, it's mean a lot. So services we provide, the employees has very well. That is why education, training, communication is a continuous process of your branding. Okay, let's go quickly on some of the leading destinations around the world. We've all heard about Thailand Med. They are so well known. They've chosen Pomegranate Hospital to be their voice for Thailand, and everybody knows Pomegranate, Bangkok Hospital, and so forth, and they specify the niche services that they want to brand in. One time I was sitting in a workshop, and I want to ask you this question. Somebody told me is that, and you know, I thought about the same question, but I'm not going to say the answer. Do you think if Pomegranate was somewhere in an island around the world, you know, not known an island, would it be a successful? Just tell me.
I think it would, because it doesn't matter the country, but what matters is what they've done to create their brand, their reputation. So I think if they are in a separate island or even in Bluetooth, they would get the same reaction.
Successful model. So probably if they studied well the situation and they found out that it will not work, they wouldn't have done it.
Even if it was in a desert?
Since they are successful, it means that they conducted a lot of studies before it. This is how I think. It happens, of course, that we study things and they didn't work, but they don't work. But theoretically speaking, if they're successful, I think they would have studied the thing very well.
Any disagreement? You all agree? Yeah. So now you've changed your mind a bit. You changed. Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
Because in our case, our center was based in Mohammedan, in downtown, So when we started thinking about the medical tourism thing, to take it to a higher level or to a more professional level, we decided to move to Tajammu, so we're more close to the airport, so it's easier. We're closer to entertainment areas, so the patient avoids the clutter, the crowd middle in downtown. If he has someone with him, she can go around, and it's a much more pleasant environment. So this is what we did. So probably, I changed my mind.
Okay. I'm out of town, but please give me just 10 minutes, Dr. Asad. Thank you. Okay, you know what? I was like you, by the way, when the question was raised. And I was thinking the same as you were thinking. But then I've changed my mind. You know, because Thailand has invested as a company, as a country, in the tourism infrastructure and in the tourism branding and social marketing and communicating, Bumrungrad was successful. And this is very much indeed important. And you've already said it, Dr. Karim. You had your leadership, you have your government. And yesterday, you have seen your government actually commitment toward it, because you have your minister attended. So, and you have your government at the country level speaking about medical tourism in Egypt. So yes, patient will go even to the moon if they have a good hospital, but still the support of the country and the environment around it add a big value into it. And I don't want to take much, because we had a very thorough discussion yesterday on the matter, is that how you will pick the hospital, the research you go in, all the information. So why a lot of destination became so successful, and we speak about medical tourism destination, because that add a lot of value and support to your brand of a hospital with that destination. Yeah. Okay, this is an example of Singapore medicine. So this is a brand that Singapore has established, and they've chosen Parkway, Ruffles, and so forth to be their brand speaking of their medicine giving. This is in Turkey, Dia, and also a brand that's been established in Turkey for the marketing of their healthcare services. This is India, medical travel destination. And India is one of the competitive destinations to the UAE because of wellness, low cost, and incredible service that they do give. So we have to consider that. You have PHA Jordan as an association that's taken on their part is the marketing of Jordan as a medical tourism destination. And they are doing a good job, I'm telling you. Even with the restriction of the budget that they do have, but they are doing a lot of great work. And one of the things that I've noticed is that when we were in one of their conference, they had a very big issue with medical visa. And they have been successful to escalate it to the king level to facilitate that. So you can see, I mean, there is a lot that brands and association does for the facilities of the services in medical tourism. Now, this is one of the case study. I'm not gonna, just please go back, yeah. I'm not gonna spend a lot of time, but I'm just gonna tell you about it. I don't know if people maybe from Canada or US have heard about doctors, yeah? Okay, this is the lady who established it. I mean, she was an entrepreneur, right? So what do you think she did? There was a lot of patients, they are leaving the US for medical treatments around the world, okay? So what do you think that simple thing that she did? From the name. What do you think she established? Hmm? No, you are almost there. Okay, let us not take much time. Okay, she established a portal. That's it. Very simple. So she has seen a lot of patients in the US are traveling abroad for dental treatments, for other surgeries. So she established a portal with all the information that they might use to book and to go for treatment. And she was an entrepreneur. She was listed in Forbes, and mashallah, she became one of the richest people for only establishing a port. How many porters we have here in the region? We have many porters. How many of them is successful? So it's very much important to develop your message to your patients. The integrity, the quality, legitimacy of your portal is very much indeed important. So if you are to be this woman who established and she went through all of that, what do you think that we will learn from it? This will be my last things, okay, to end up my workshop. What would you learn? Yep. And? Yeah. And if you were the woman and you are going to praise this woman, what you will say? Yeah. Most of you are a woman, right? So what would you say? It is wow, yeah. But then she has, pardon me? Of course, she has the gut, right? She has the gut. She was a person who actually had the courage to go for it, right? Yes. So she has a gut, she has a vision, she knows exactly what she wants, okay, and she developed it. She has a clear target audience. Her audience was very clear. She knew to whom she's going to develop the portal. So when you are going to develop your brand, you need to know to whom you are developing it. To me, coming from the UAE to Egypt, to get treated, to the African patients that you are trying to attract. So she has a clear vision, right? And consistency in developing the style and the behavior of my brand. It's very important. What's the message I want to give, right? And great consumer engagement and experience and smashing the success, right? Okay, so now just the last point, what we learned, some action points we need to take for our branding that will help you to establish your brand. You need an executive branding workshop because you need to have your customer, your employees understand, and also your leadership is very much important. They understand your branding, the message. And then brand assessment. Is your brand is right or wrong? After a period of time, you need to assess your branding, if it is the right, if it is going on the right part or it's not. It's same like when you do accreditation and you monitor it after a period of time, okay? And then develop the brand positioning where you want to be. If you remember in medical tourism, we always say we need to understand our segment, market segment, to whom we are going to bring a patient. Then there you have also to position your brand message. It has to be there, right? And then the identity framework that separates you from other hospitals around you. You want to be different than this, different than that. It's very much important, okay? And then roll out the key brand message as we spoke earlier. Patient first, think different, safety first, trusted organization. You have to have that small message that when I go home, I remember you well, and then walk the talk. How many of us, we just speak and we don't deliver and we don't mean, right? So it's very much important. And then, as we said, involve all your stakeholders, and the quality part comes here: measure, monitor, and communicate. And thank you very much.
I am in sales and marketing. That is my title because that's what people will understand. But I'm an educator. I educate people on what it is that I have to offer. I make sure that they are well informed, that they are educated, that I am asking them what their needs are, and then addressing those needs so that when they want to make a decision, they are making an informed, and quantified decision as to why they're going to use your product, whatever that is, whether it's surgery, whether it's a hospital, whether it's a country. They need to be well informed so that they are confident in the decision that they're making. So you are not selling anything. True? You are giving them the education, you are giving them the tools so they can make an informed decision. That was in the beginning of the presentation. The other thing, so instead of saying selling, right, you're educating your potential clients to come. So this is something that I've learned over the years. The other thing, when you were talking about the Mayo Clinic, not only they've built a huge brand of trust, not just in people that use their services, but I myself, if I've got a runny nose and I want to know what's wrong with me, I go to the Mayo Clinic and they have their website up, and I go there first to check on, or if somebody's sick and they say I have this and this wrong, so I will go there to check what it possibly will be before going to the doctor, because they have built that brand of trust with in the entire world. And then the last point that I wanted to touch base back on is in regards to that woman that you were speaking to, the Dr. Stewart. Who makes the decision when the husband is going to get an operation done, or their children, or their mother, or their father? Who makes the decisions in the household? Who does the research? Anyone? Shout it out. Usually the woman of the household. She's the one that's going to make the man go and get tested for whether it's prostate, whether there's something else going on that needs to be addressed, because typically men will not, children are too young, so it's the women. So when they're dealing with a woman in this industry with the marketing, women typically are associated. While we are empowered, we are intelligent, we can do this. Look at me. I've traveled from Canada to come to this conference at the very kind invitation of Dr. Todd and Dr. Kareem. Thank you so much for letting me take some time. But ultimately, in Canada, in the U.S., there's different perceptions, obviously, than over here, and I understand those very well. But even here, it's still the woman that's making the decision at home. So when they're going to these websites and getting the information, seeing a woman giving a clear and informing presentation is going to build that trust that they will feel welcome to, and then they're going to go, I don't care what you think, you're going to go, and this is where you're going to go. So, thank you.
Yeah, see, I totally agree with you. We are not selling when it comes to patient health. No, but what I meant by the selling is that your brand sells your business. I mean, this is something, we all know it. Yeah. So just to make the difference from that perspective, when it comes to health, you never sell the health of a person. But when I speak about the brand as a selling tool, because the brand of your hospital is at the end, is that what brings you the business in. So that from that perspective, just to clear up. Otherwise, we totally agree on one matter. Ethically, is what we have to look for is the patient health. Absolutely. So that just to make it clear. Yeah. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. 100%. Yeah. Of course. Yeah. 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 No. Absolutely. I totally understand. But just to be fair and to clear the matter for our audience. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you all. Of course, before we move to our next workshop, I'd just like to say that women in Egypt take decision in every single thing. Thank you. Yes, I'm taking orders already.
Thank you, Dr. Kareem. Now we will be with Dr. Asad Riyad, Regional Office Manager for Siemens International, General Manager of Egypt in Touch.
Good morning, everybody. I would like firstly to thank Dr. Ayman Salah for this kind invitation, and thank to him especially for this scientific conference. This is my first time experience in Egypt now to have some scientific discussion all the time after the official opening and so on. And thank you for everybody who woke up early on Friday. I know how painful it is, but thank you all for being here. And I would like to also thank Mrs. Laila now for the first part of talking about branding and names and so on here in medical tourism. My speech now will continue for the for selling. And I think this will be somehow, we usually say that we are not good in marketing, but this is not true. We start to become more and more advanced in marketing, and we have a lot of doctors. I follow that for the last, let's say, 5 years, 7 years maybe. We have a lot of facilities have their own websites, social media pages, and so on. And by the way, I will mix my speech in Arabic and English because when I'm speaking Arabic, I believe that I will speak from heart. بعتبر مستشفى مصر للطيران مظلومه في الجزء بتاع التسويق. ليه؟ حد يقدر يقول لي كي بوينت؟ انا محتاج نتشارك عشان وات ايفر.
يعني audience do not expect that an airline company has a hospital.
This is one point. Anybody who is looking for EgyptAir on Google, usually he try to find that line.
Yes.
So this is something to consider in the future, to have some
frustrating,
very frustrating, or whatever somehow. But at the end, this is the aim, is to reach the goal of marketing. Our main real problem, for my experience in medical tourism, is not the marketing itself. We have the marketing campaign, we invest a lot, we pay a lot, and then a patient comes to us and asks some question, no answer, wrong answer, nothing. We don't have the right clue to close the deal. If you can say that, I'm sorry, I'm talking again about a business, about selling. He asking about some service, and you don't have the clue, and or only you are giving him just a figure or a number, and that's all. This is not the selling of a healthcare facility. This is not a selling of a healthcare therapy. Why? Because most of the time doctors know that they have, and I'm a doctor, so I am free to say about that, they think that they are half got. Patients have to come to me. Patients have to look for me. Patients have to wait me. Now we have to change our mind. We are trying to attract patients from another country to come to us. So this is the difference now. First of all, when you are trying to market and sell your medical tourism service, you have to know your competitors. Competitors are other medical facilities, not at the end of the street. Medical facilities now is worldwide. You are competing worldwide. So ask your question, ask yourself, why patient has to come to me? If you can find a good selling point, لو ما لقيتش نقطة تميزك تخليه يجي لك أنت مخصوص، هيروح لحد تاني، الحد التاني ده ممكن يبقى في دولة تانية أو في نفس المدينة. عندي باد اكسبيرينس من أسبوعين، بيشنت من جيبوتي جاية تعمل عملية في العين ومرتبين معاها كل شيء، جت مصر، جت القاهرة، وبعدين اتنست يوم راحت مكان تاني جوه مصر. It's something like an experience you have to learn about that. So the decision to take your trip to get a treatment outside is something like attraction power. There is something. احنا عندنا نوعين بيتنازعوا المريض يروح ولا ما يروحش، يسافر ولا ما يسافرش. اغلبنا عارف دول. هو بيسافر ليه؟ كل الزملاء قالوهم خلال اليومين اللي فاتوا، امبارح والنهارده. الكوست والاكسس للسبيشاليزد تريتمنت، شورتر ويت تايم، كواليتي، ترافل اكسبيرينس، برايفسي اند كونفيدنشاليتي. متفقين على ده صح؟ ايه اللي بيمنع العيان انه يسافر؟ عايز اسمع حضرتك. What is the barrier? What is the negative that pull patients from taking a decision to travel? Cost. One. Security. Alternative. Okay, travel issues.
Misleading information about the
Misleading
process.
information. التراست اللي احنا
Yes.
اتكلمنا عليه امبارح والنهارده. ايه تاني؟ سمعة المكان، الكواليتي بتاعت المكان او السيرفيس. طب حد فكر في الحاجات دي؟ ترافل ريسك احنا اتكلمنا عليها دلوقتي، وده اجابه السؤال اللي سالت عليه مسز ليلى من دقايق. هو لو مكان في الصحراء هنروحه ولا لا؟ لو في مستشفى كويس، بس انا اسف يعني في افغانستان او في هروح، هفكر كذا مره. الموضوع مش ايزي الا اذا كان ده حد بقى عنده يعني new treatment never available in the world. So I have to think about that. But there is something here called family emotion. Anybody would like to travel? ما تسافرش، خليك هنا احسن. انت عارف انت رايح فين، ده يمكن يحصل. احنا مش بنعاني من الكلام ده واحنا رايحين رحله عاديه، فما بالك برحله سفر. You have to address that. You have to think about that. The family emotions, because they will not travel with him. He may be alone. He will think about if I got some problems or I die in a foreign country, what I will do. What about my wife? What about my husband, my girls, boys, and so on. Then the local doctor. His local doctors doesn't want him to fly. He doesn't want them to go abroad because this is my patient. ده العيان بتاعي، اخليه يسافر ليه؟ اغلب الاحوال يحاول يخليه عنده احنا هنعمل كذا وهنجرب كذا، طب استنى لما نشوف كذا، طب انا عندي مش عارف ايه. هو مش عايز يسافر، ده العيان بتاعه. معلش فكروا في الحاجات دي على مستوى معين لانه يفلي.
في سبب تاني بس ممكن اقول لحضرتك، في بعض الاحيان ممكن ما يسافرش عشان ممكن يبقى فاقد ان لما يسافر لدوله معينه ما يلاقيش اللي يتعامل معاه باللغه بتاعته.
صح. احنا حاطين الجزء ده تاني يمكن في الكالتشر وات از كامينج ناو از ذا لانجويج بارير. انا هسافر دوله باي ذا واي، تركيا على قد ما هي واحده من البيج ديستنيشن للميديكال توريزم، اغلب المستشفيات ما بتتكلمش الا تركي. انا شخصيا تعرضت ان انا اكون بعمل بانل ديسكشن في كونفرنس كبير، قاعد معايا 18 واحد على راوند تيبل، ولا واحد فيهم بيتكلم انجليزي، وانا المفروض التشير بيرسون بتاع البانل ومش فاهم اي حاجه. حد جه قاعد جنبي قاعد يترجم لي. تخيلوا ده مؤتمر وناس المفترض انها انترناشونال بتتكلم انجليزي. فانت عندك تشالنج كبيره في اغلب الدول، ودي الحمد لله مش موجوده عندنا في مصر. احنا بنتكلم عربي وانجليزي وفرنساوي، عندنا لغات كتيره ممكن نتكلم فيها، لدرجه انه من اسبوعين بالظبط في بروجكت بيتعمل في تركيا مع بعض الانفستورز هناك. الراجل اللي بيكلمني هو سوري اللي ماسك لهم البروجكت. هم بيعملوا كل ما يخص الميديكال توريزم، ميديكال سنتر هناك، هير ترانسبلانت، دنتال، كوزماتيك اند سو اون. عايز يعمل الكول سنتر بتاعه في مصر لانه الكوست بتاعه اقل. عايز 50 موظف بيتكلموا انجليزي، فرنساوي، روماني وروسي. فبالتالي اللغه عائق خطير في القرار بتاع السفر. بعد كده الداوت اباوت كواليتي، وهنا بيجي دور الاكريديتيشن والاعتماد، لانه في سام انترناشونال فاسيلتي بتقول المكان ده كويس. انا ما بفهمش في الطب، انا ما دخلتش المستشفى، ما اعرفش ايه اللي بيدور في الكواليس. انما لما تيجي اكريديتيشن بادي وات ايفر يقول المكان ده كويس، على الاقل بيديني نوع من الثقه. وسبيشالي لما يبقى الديستنيشن كله عندك في مصر في 6 7 10 100 مستشفى واخدين اكريديتيشن، معناها الناس دي كلها والدوله دي مهتمه بالجوده. culture differences، lack of legal recourse. لو حصلت لي مشكله اروح فين؟ اهم سؤال واول سؤال. لو اختلفت معاهم، لو اتخانقنا، لو حصلت مشكله، لو رحت هناك اللي انا كنت عايز ادفع 1000 يورو قالوا لي 2000، اعمل ايه؟ لازم يبقى في حاجه كلير بهذا الشان. وبعد كده البوست تريتمنت فولو اب، لما ارجع وحصلت لي حاجه ايه القصه دي كلها هتصرف فيها ازاي؟ الكلام ده مهم ليه؟ لانه وانا بعمل سيلز، انا جالي ليد بعت لي على الواتساب، بعت لي على الويب سايت بتاعي، بعت لي على السوشيال ميديا، كلمني بالتليفون الكول سنتر وبيقول لي وانتوا بتعملوا الني ريبليسمنت بكام؟ المفروض نرد على السؤال ده نقول ايه؟ نرد نقول ايه؟ لو واحد يسالك بتعملوا ني ريبليسمنت عندكم بكام في المستشفى؟ هتقول له ايه؟
very precise لان ما ينفعش ان انا أعمل حاجه وتطلع حاجه ثانيه.
طبعا ده جزء مهم جدا، بس في حاجه اهم دايما they learn us sorry they teach us that people are by emotion.
Yes.
Not by logic,
mind.
by logic thinking.
Yes.
لو انت قلت له كذا وكذا 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 3000 يورو، اول حاجه تيجي على باله ايه؟ في مكان تاني بيعملها ب 2.5. صح؟ فبالتالي we don't have to think again about the selling like figures and numbers and so on. What we have to do is that first of all, make your client knows you, your web presence. I don't want you to just go for social media pages. Your home, your official home is your website. Why? Because we have two types of patients. Patient is looking for you, and another one that you looking for a patient. Two different points. If I go for Google and I search for you and I can't find you, you are not exist. المثل المصري عندنا بيقول ايه؟ بعيد عن العين بعيد عن القلب، اللي مش شايفه مش موجود. He is not available. خليني اعمل اكزامبل كده بسيط مع حضراتكم لو تسمحوا لي ثانيه. Hey Google. What is the best dental clinic in Cairo?
I'm here to help. How can I assist you today?
What is the best dental clinic in Cairo? What is the best dental clinic in Cairo? Again, hey Google, what is the best hospital in Cairo? Sorry.
Determining the best hospital in Cairo depends on your specific needs. Here are some top-ranked hospitals in Cairo, each known for their strengths. Andalusia Hospital Al Mahdi offers world-class care across various specialties. As Salam International Hospital, renowned for its advanced medical technology and patient care. Saudi German Hospital, Cairo, provides high-quality care with a focus on German medical expertise. For a more tailored recommendation, consider factors like...
Sorry, you are not exact. I'm sorry for this example, but this is exactly what I would like to tell you. If you are not exist on the web, you are not exist in the reality. How can I know about you when I am in Germany or in UK? This needs a lot of efforts. And by the way, 65% of British, at least British now, who are looking for a medical tourism facilities do that by themselves. They are not going to a tour operator or to something. They are looking on the internet. So your website is very, very, very important. This is how he knows you. Then the second point, he should love you. Your team of international patient department or sales department should have a high communication skill and enthusiasm. لازم يكونوا بيعرفوا يتكلموا كويس، لازم يكونوا بيعرفوا يجروا حوار مع المريض بطريقته، يتعرفوا عليه، يعرفوه اسمه، يحسسوه بالاهتمام. المريض ما بيجيش عشان انت عندك حاجه سعرها رخيص. Never ever. They should know you very well and they feel that you are enthusiastic with them. انت مهتم بيه هو، انت مهتم بصحته، انت عايز مصلحته. لو ما حسش بدي هيروح لحد تاني. لانه طول ما انت عمال ترخص في السعر، انا اسف، في غيرك هيدي سعر اقل. فاحنا هنجو فور انذر ديستنيشن، مش هنوصل لحاجه. بعد كده هنعمل ني ريبليسمنت وعليها ليزك هديه. مش هيحصل. مش عايزين نوصل للمرحله دي. The last point is to trust you.
trust you when you have the enough knowledge and the credibility. احنا عندنا في مصر ما بنعرفش نقول لا، دايما انا اسف بنفتي، يسالك اي سؤال فتجاوب عشان ما تبانش ان انت ما تعرفش. They will not respect you if you do that. You have to go directly and say, I don't know, I will ask and come back to you. You have to come back to them. This is very important. Especially again, to know you, he should have a good experience about your facility. اغلب الاعلانات اللي لحد دلوقتي سبيشال الحاجات بتاعت الفيديو اللي بنشوفها في مصر تقريبا احنا بنعمل ريل استيت ادفرتايزمنت. احنا بنصور المباني وبنصور الاجهزه وبنصور حاجات كتير قوي ملهاش اي لازمه. العيان عايز يشوف ايه؟ ايموشن. هوري حضراتكم اعلان لاحد المستشفيات او السنترز الموجوده في المانيا، ده مش دعايه ليهم، لكن هوري حضراتكم هم الخدمه اللي بيقدموها جاست تشيك اب، nothing else. حاجه بسيطه جدا عند اي مستشفى موجوده في اي حته في العالم، بس شوفوا عرضها ازاي او وريها لنا ازاي. ناخد الفيديو الاولاني.
To get checked, even though you feel healthy, that is the goal of a checkup at the Max Grundy Clinic. Our checkup will give you a detailed and excellent overview of your health within just 4 to 5 hours. Everything under one roof, at high-tech level and with the expertise of the entire clinic. The basis of every checkup is an extensive initial consultation. Your physician will guide you through the entire checkup process. After a blood draw, we will analyze your blood in our state-of-the-art laboratory. The results will go directly to your attending physician. We continue with diagnostic exams. The pulmonary function test shows the oxygen supply of your lungs and can detect respiratory diseases. Our gastroenterologist examines the internal organs. Liver, pancreas, spleen, and kidneys, everything will be analyzed. During the exercise ECG, we will check your physical fitness and blood pressure under stress conditions. We can also detect potential cardiac arrhythmia or signs of vascular disorders. Within just 1 minute, we measure the blood pressure on your arms and legs. That will give us insight into the continuity of the arterial system, as well as the pulse wave velocity of the abdominal artery. Then our cardiologist and angiologist will examine your heart, carotids, and abdominal artery. We also check the vessels supplying the brain and examine the abdominal artery for possible aneurysms. During the entire process, we ensure everything runs smoothly. By the way, there is always time for a small refreshment. Enjoy our Vitality cuisine, which offers regional and international culinary delights. We combine pleasure with a special ambiance. Should our physicians determine that radiological examinations are necessary, they will make this part of your checkup. Our radiology center provides the best possible imaging with a 128-slice CT, as well as a 3 Tesla MRI. During your final consultation, your attending physician will explain your results comprehensively and in full detail. Our physicians are not only here for you during your checkup. Our entire team is happy to support you even beyond your checkup, no matter what you need.
بره قبل كده في المانيا، لكن احنا حسينا بتاتش معين دلوقتي في الاعلان. ايه هو؟ هيومن تاتش. They are smiling, relaxing, calm, assuring. كل الكلام ده كله هو اللي ادالك الرساله النهائيه اللي انت عايز توصلها. هسال حضراتكم سؤال، انت عشان تبيع اي خدمه طبيه هي كلها عند كل المستشفيات الاساسيه، ايه الادد فاليو اللي انت بتعملها؟ النهارده وانت جاي بطيارات مصر للطيران ايكونومي كلاس بتوصلك من القاهره للغردقه، صح كده؟ والبزنس كلاس القاهره للغردقه. في حد فيهم بيوصل قبل الثاني مثلا ولا حاجه؟ لا. ليه بتدفع في البيزنس اكسترا؟ السيرفيس الاصليه اللي احنا بنشتريها ايه؟ ترانسبورتيشن، طيران. انما عشان يقعد يديك طبق فاكهه ومش عارف وجبه زياده ويدلعك شويتين ومش عارف يعمل الكلام ده كله، هو زود السعر مره ونص او مره كل خطوط الطيران، طبعا ما اقصدش مصر الطيران تحديدا، بس في المقابل حسسك بحاجه متميزه. You can do it in a lounge for a VIP patient come from outside. You can do a lot just to enhance even your profit, your benefit, without affecting the real good quality of medical services. This is very important, and you have to consider that. Patient satisfaction pillar. Think again what your patient think about. He doesn't think in the first time about the price, about the quality, but he think about easy appointment booking and short waiting time. He is looking for easy communication with medical and nursing team, not only with the doctor or the reception or the IBD, even with the doctor and nurses. The pain management, the feeling of pain between nations or nationalities totally different from one country to another maybe. Cleanliness and quietness of hospital environment. Convenient and straightforward payment. كم مستشفى عندنا في مصر حاطين البرايس ليست بتاعتهم على الويب سايت؟ ولا واحدة. صح؟ كم مستشفى لو طلبت منهم برايس ليست واضحة يوريها لك؟ قليل. الترانسبيرنسي معيار مطلوب طبعا، معيار مطلوب طبعا، بس غالبا بيوروا له الاسيستنتس وما بيوروش للبيشنت. وي نو. كلير ديسشارج انستراكشنز وانا ماشي ايه اللي مطلوب؟ كتيب كده اسمه بيشنت جايد تدي للبيشنت فيه كل التفاصيل اللي مطلوبه. And another thing very important now. Everybody of us has 24 hours per day. Whoever he is, where he is living, how rich he is, everybody has only 24 hours, right? And this is why everybody is struggling to get as much as of your attention of these 24 hours, because this is a force. Can you imagine that they usually ask about what is the main competitor of, let us say, Netflix. What is the main competitor of Netflix? No. No. Sleeping. When you sleep, you are not watching them. So they are paying a lot to make you wake up, to watch, to be fixed in front of a screen. Because when you do that, they got more and more money for advertisement and so on. So this is very important. And now there is a science, a complete science called attention economy. A lot of books about that. Please read about that. Why I have to mention that now? Because we are in a flood. احنا عندنا كثافة غير عادية من البوستات والسوشيال ميديا. لو نسيتك لحظة ما شفتكش قدام عيني في إعلاناتك أنا نسيتك، لأن في ناس تانية دخلت. لو أنا عملت إعلان للمستشفى واستخسرت في البادجت بتاعته شوية عشان يظهر مرة واحدة للعميل ومشي، هتلاقي بعد شوية 10 مستشفيات تانيين بيظهروا دافعين أكتر وأنت مش موجود. الطبيعي بيقولوه دلوقتي إنك لازم تعمل على الأقل 3 بوست للسوشيال ميديا بير داي. Can you imagine? And this is very easy, by the way, now with the artificial intelligence. So it is very important to be there. Don't be reluctant to do that. Shame on you if you don't do that now. I think yesterday we created some song for EgyptAir in a couple of minutes, just with lyrics and song and music and everything when we are taking our lunch yesterday. So it's easy now. Don't be reluctant about that. Before we finalize that, I would like to tell you something that the digital transformation and artificial intelligence now and everything take you to another level of marketing. I leave the other video. Thank you. هنا احنا هنشوف ازاي نقدر ننقل خبره من داخل المستشفى من مكان معين، بدل ما احنا بنصور مباني وبنصور اجهزه، نشوف احنا نقدر ننقل الاكسبيرينس كأن المريض اللي جاي من بره.
Hi, today we're going to show you an exciting new technology that could fundamentally change the way that people will communicate in the future. Imagine being able to virtually teleport from one space to another in real time. Hey, Sergio.
Yes, Ram.
How does it feel like to be holoported?
It feels great to be holoported.
So if Sergio is to wear his HoloLens device, and I'm going to wear mine, we can see each other in full 3D in real time. We can interact and communicate as if we're co-present. Sergio, can you walk around my space? Can you walk behind this chair? So we're doing everything to give the impression that Sergio and I are present in the same space. Sergio, let's just do a high five. That's
Bye
great.
bye.
Thank you, Sergio. We call this technology holoportation. Now, to make all this happen, we've had to create a new type of 3D capture technology. I'm surrounded by these 3D cameras that we've developed in our team. Each of them is capturing me from a separate viewpoint, and we're fusing this data together to create a temporally consistent model, as you can see reconstructed live behind me. Now, the camera that's filming me has a HoloLens tracking system attached, and this allows us to take these 3D models and composite them in real time into the real world, as you can see here. And that gives you a sense of the fidelity of the reconstructions that we can achieve. Once we have these reconstructions, we can texture them. We can then compress the data and transmit the data over to the other side. Over on the other side, a user wearing a HoloLens can see these remote participants live in their space as if they're co-present. And that's what we're showing you picture in picture. Now imagine using this type of capture technology to connect with family members who are thousands of miles away. And that's exactly what we're going to demonstrate to you right now. My daughter is stood in a similar capture rig somewhere else in our lab. And she's going to holoport into my space, and I'm going to interact with her wearing my HoloLens.
Hi, Bob, I miss you.
Hey, Lilia, I miss you too.
You coming home?
I'm coming home very soon. Let me get out of your way. Hey, Lilia, you can only hear me, you can't see me, but what are these toys?
I have toys to show you. This one is name is Elmo.
Elmo?
And he can sing.
He can sing, wow. And what about the other one?
The other one is called Tina, and I like it because it has different stuff.
Well, that's so cool. So Lilia, can you climb up on this chair that's behind you? Yeah, climb up. Be very careful. Now I'm going to count to 3 and I want you to jump. 1, 2, 3, jump! That was so cool. Oh, let me get out of your way again.
I like you so much.
I love you too.
Come home soon.
I'll be home very soon. Bye-bye. Now, in that example, we were demonstrating live 3D capture, but our system is capable of another thing. We can actually record and play back that entire session. Now, this is almost like reversing through time. And if I wear my HoloLens device, it's almost like walking into a living memory that I can see through another pair of eyes from all these different perspectives. And because this is 3D content, we can miniaturize it onto this coffee table and experience it in a more convenient manner. And this becomes a magical way of experiencing these live captured memories. Now imagine being able to teleport to any place with anyone at any time. And that's what holoportation is all about. Thank you for watching.
What do you have to do? Just in keynotes now. First of all, train your team. Team means everybody inside your facility. They are all ambassadors for your brand, for your name. Second point, help each other. Don't work like an isolated island. مش كل واحد يشتغل في حتة لوحده ماليش دعوة. الهاوس كيبنج بيدي امبريشن للمريض اللي موجود زيه زي الدكتور، زي المحاسب، زي اللي موجود في الريسبشن. دي خبرتي جوه المستشفى مع اي حد موجود جوه. وافتكر حضرتك لما بتخش فندق، لو فرد الامن اللي على الباب او البيلمان ما عاملكش كويس، انت خدت بلوك من الفندق ومش مرتاح نفسيا قبل ما تخش الاوضه. ده انطباع بيتاخد في كل مكان انت بتروحه. know the 7 generations. لما تيجي تعمل تسويق، لما تيجي تعمل دعايه، افتكر انت بتسوق لانه جنريشن. واحد عنده 70 سنه ما تسوقلوش على السوشيال ميديا. فيسبوك ايه اللي بيفتحه واحد عنده 70 ولا 80 سنه؟ ده جاي يعمل اوبن هارت ولا يعمل حاجه، هو عايز تليفون تكلمه فيه وشكرا. النيو جنريشنز الجديده لا، استخدم السوشيال ميديا، استخدم المناسبه ليهم. كل دوله ليها سوشيال ميديا ليها. يعني انا اعتقد طبعا يمكن مدام ليلى يعني كونفيرم، الامارات ما بيحبوش الفيسبوك. الانستجرام سوري السناب شات ميبي مور. لو عايز تسوق هناك استخدم سناب شات، لو عايز تسوق في مصر استخدم فيسبوك، لو عايز تستخدم وهكذا. read about culture diversity. use CRM software. عندنا كم مستشفى او كم كلينيك لما تتصل بيهم من تليفونك يقولوا لك اهلا مستر فلان؟ مفيش، صح؟ مش في دماغنا، رغم ان انت لو اتصلت بسوبر ماركت ممكن تبقى فاكر اسمك. use all available tools and now it is free. Artificial intelligence are free, machines, devices, everything almost for free or at least at a reasonable cost. Don't give promises. مهم قوي تدرب الناس اللي بيشتغلوا معاك في الانترناشونال بيشنتس او في السيلز، ما تديش وعد انه الحاجه دي 100%. ممكن تدي ارقام حقيقيه لكن ما تقولش انه دي هي الافضل وتماما، لا انا اوعدك بكذا. في الهيلث كير it is impossible. know your limit. I can do that, I cannot do that. هيرسبكت تماما احترامك وثقتك في نفسك ومعرفتك للي انت بتقوله. ما تقولش هقدر اعمل كل حاجه، مفيش حد في الدنيا nobody can do everything in the world. I can do that, I cannot do that. And finally always follow up. Follow up with the patient, follow up with your team, follow up with everything, because don't leave anything for just chance and surprises mostly will not be that pleasant for you. Thank you. Any question? Thank you.